What's poppin' YouTube? Today we are at Drip Studios, but it's more of a drip in progress.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. We just got the keys a couple days ago, so still putting it all together.
Well, before we get into that, why don't you give the viewers a little warm welcome as to who they have the pleasure of seeing today?
My name's Tyler Bowditch. I'm a director and partner with Drip Studios here in Toronto. We do all sorts of really cool, sexy food work.
Is that your bread and butter? Is that what you guys at Drip are known for?
So Drip as a whole is not specifically tabletop. I, however, mostly do tabletop. I really got into this through stills, and in the stills world, I shot mostly food, and when I became a director, it was a natural progression to continue really focusing on food.
Okay, and I'm sure this location here is pretty much exactly something to help you do just that, right? Like you guys have fridges, stoves, all types of fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's we're in the process of building it out to be everything we need it to be, which is, big, very functional kitchen for a team to work out of, large shoot space, high ceilings, the whole deal.
Sweet. Well, before we get into that, we're gonna get to know the man himself before we talk about the studio space. All right, so Tyler, this world of very, intricate food porn, close-up macro shots, that's really cool, but how'd you even get into this?
I came from stills, and I didn't even know that this existed when I started doing that. I feel like the niche of slow motion beauty of food is a little more mainstream now, but when I started, it was not a thing that normal people knew about, I feel like. I at least never thought about it as a thing that you could do. I got into shooting because I wanted to be a photojournalist, and then found myself really liking lattes in studios and switched my focus more to advertising, which naturally kind of led to where I am now.
Nobody really knew, or you didn't know that this world existed specifically. So for you to get here, was there any directors or DPs that pushed you more and more into this world through influence?
Yeah, absolutely. I was quite happy being a stills photographer, but there were people that I saw doing stuff that I thought was really cool. Steve Geralt at the Garage, obviously everybody thinks Steve is the coolest guy ever, and he is. And I just saw people doing more complicated stuff, and for me, what it's all about is I want to do stuff that people don't, people look at and they're like, well, how did they do that? So I tend to really like directors whose work makes me feel that way, and in turn, it drives me to create more work that makes other people hopefully have the same reaction.
You sort of also exposed a little bit earlier that you worked a lot of different jobs, and I'm sure in that journey you acquired a few different transferable skills that sort of maybe help you on set when it comes to executing these sort of creative.
I had a bit of a weird roadmap to get to doing what I'm doing, but when I look back at all of the different things that I've dipped my toes in, it kind of makes sense. I worked in restaurant kitchens for years. I worked in a fabrication and metalworking shop as a junior machinist. I worked building sets for film, and all of these things kind of culminated in this weird set of skills that equal shooting with rigging and robotics and food. There's just a little bit of all of the different things that I've done in all of the work that I do, often in ways that I don't expect.
Do you consider yourself more of a director or DP, and why?
I would say more of a director. I enjoy shooting myself as well, and for the right project, I think that makes sense, but I think the nicest thing about moving into the world that I'm in now, it's much more of a collaborative effort. I really, really enjoy that.
I've actually noticed in quite a bit of your work that you sort of mix, shooting something practically with a little bit of VFX.
I try and shoot everything as practically as possible. There's always a way to shoot things practically, for the most part, but I think part of being good at your job in my role is to leverage technology to do things as efficiently as possible. Whether that efficiency comes from shooting on an LED wall and doing 6 locations in a day instead of 6 locations in a week, working in some animation in the background for something, or shooting assets to go into an animation spot. Those are all tools that should be in every director's belt, and I think it's important to know when to use what.
I'm sure a lot of viewers are really interested and eager to hear if there's any sort of tips or techniques that they can use to help them get into not only this world of filmmaking, but get into this caliber of filmmaking that you often work at as well?
I think there's a couple things. I think being open to anything is good. I think shooting as much as you can is important. I frankly would never have succeeded at this in the film era. Like, I don't have the resources. I did not come from a background that allows me to play with film and spend money on things. For me, it was buying the cheapest camera I could get my hands on and just shooting every day and spending money on spec work. I think a lot of people get really hung up with, you know, like, I've got to buy these lenses, or I need these lights, or I need all these things. But like, if you just take the time to learn how to use your tools, you can do a lot with very, very little. And of course, the other really important thing is networking, which I am terrible at. Just meet as many people who do what you want to do as you can and talk to them, buy them lunch.
I'd actually just love to know, like, what was your favorite spec that you've worked on today?
The last spec thing I did would be this fried chicken thing I did, which was fun. We shot a bunch of stuff on green screen. We did some cool rigging. I shot on that new free fly camera, the Ember.
Oh, the Ember, yeah. What was that like?
It was great. It's not a Phantom, but it's good. It's cool.
Have you used the predecessor, the Wave?
Enough to know I will never use it again.
Fair enough. Okay.
It's fine. It's cool. The Ember was cool. It opens a lot of doors, I think, for lower budget productions, not just in the sense of the camera being cheaper, but you can properly run it as one or two people. You don't need like a huge crew. It's significantly less data. It shoots straight into ProRes. There's a lot of good things happening there. But yeah, we built an entire restaurant in Unreal Engine. We shot the entire thing in our studio, our old studio, not the new place. Yeah, just the whole thing on a green screen. It was great. And I got to work with my favorite people. Like, what's better than that?
There's one that you did with Crave or for Crave.
Yeah, I just did a commercial for Crave, which is like a line of like quick prepared meals. We did this breakfast spot for them for these new egg dish things they have, which actually are really tasty. They're like a good solve. That spot was a lot of fun. We shot for 2 days. We have like a 9-second bolt shot at the top with like a microwave door that triggers open and like a turntable thing. It's just a lot of moving pieces, which is fun for me. But yeah, we bought 7 microwaves, I think, and we just cut them up. It was a blast. And we did that at SP Studios in Mississauga, and they have like all of the toys you could ever want. It's a blast.
I also heard through passing that you may have shot the highest frame rate on a virtual production studio.
Yeah, highest that I know of, we got up to 480 frames per second on the wall at the immersion room. It was cool.
Yeah.
We've been trying to convince people to write scripts for that, but I think it's hard for people to understand. Even the spec we did, we were trying to like sell this to ad agencies and stuff, and the agencies get it, but clients are just like, so LED wall, like, are we doing?
Yeah, I can.
Like
if you can,
sign. I don't get it.
Even for our viewers here, like they may not understand the whole virtual production term. So, explain this again, like to a 5-year-old.
Okay.
Even to me too, just so I get an in-depth understanding.
I mean, you're basically shooting on a TV. That's it. It's a TV that's mapped to your camera. So as the camera moves, the background moves as if you're in real space. What's tricky is the whole thing is run on graphics cards on these huge screens. So getting up to high frame rates is tricky. The only way we could really run it was with motion control, just because the tracking doesn't refresh fast enough. So we had to track at a lower speed and then run everything faster. It's a whole thing that I would love to talk about, but don't know if I want everyone on the internet to know just yet.
Okay, I see.
But we'll see.
One thing I've noticed we sort of dabbled on different studios, different, production heads and creative that you worked with, but I want to, show viewers a little bit more about the space that you're building. So why not? Let's do a bit of a tour.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Awesome. All right, Tyler. Well, there's a lot going on behind us.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, what is everything to be.
So this is all going to be prep area, basically. So we've got these big islands. Our cabinets are going to be the matching black with the same walnut countertops. You got to have a kitchen big enough for like 4 people. So
so that is that
it's tight for 4 people. It's comfortable for 3, probably.
We're definitely 4 people.
But yeah, I mean, this is in open space, so there's lots more we can bring in when needed, and it will live in the corner later. It's not going to be, like 8 feet from the wall with no cabinets or countertops. We got some drywall we're finishing up before it goes in. So
nice.
That's kind of the order of operations there.
Fridge?
Fridge, yeah, kitchen fridge. We've got product fridges as well, but this is the one for the things we're working on at this moment, not the things for tomorrow or yesterday.
Gotcha. These are not like shooting fridges. These are actual functioning food fridges.
I mean, the entire kitchen, it's not a dedicated shoot kitchen. Everything works, it's real, it is to cook in. When we've got to do a pickup shot here or there, it's great. I feel like half the boards I get nowadays have a shot of a burner turning on. You gotta have a gas burner, that's it.
And I'm sure your carpentry skills that you mentioned earlier are coming into play.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, I'm pretty good at IKEA.
Yeah.
It's great.
Sweet. And then, things like controlling the lighting, a lot of natural light, which is beautiful, but may not be your best friend for shooting. So plans for that?
Yeah, we've got Duvetine drop downs that should be done next week. Basically, they're just measured for each. They fit inside and they'll roll out. So it'll be all blacked out. On top of that, we've got a 12 by 20 frame we put above from the ceiling on pulleys so we can bounce. I'll probably live with like a bleach muzz on it or something, but
sweet.
We'll see.
And then going on to this side here, what's going on this side here?
So this is where the kitchen will actually go.
Against the wall?
Yeah, against the wall. So we drywalled it just so that we could do a backsplash and make it pretty. So it's good. We've got water and everything here, stove plug, hookup for the dishwasher, kind of the whole deal. And that will live in this corner right next to the shooting area. It's gonna be great.
So let me make sure I have this layout correct in my head. Is it going to be like an island?
Yeah, so basically, if you look at the kitchen there, it's gonna sit right in here, L-shaped. So basically cabinet, stove, cabinet, dishwasher, sink, cabinet, fridge. And the fridge will come basically right up to the door here, which is our little production office.
Sweet. And then the rest of the space is gonna be more or less shooting?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have like a coffee bar by the window over there and client area and whatnot. I mean, it's not a huge studio. It's not like you're gonna shoot like big room sets in here and stuff, but for 90% of the jobs I do, it is plenty.
Beauty. And this is all going to be done, you said, in about 5 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's Friday now. I'm shooting in here on Wednesday, so it's gonna be a busy week.
Got some work cut up for you.
I mean, we got this far in like a day and a half, so I feel good about it. Like I said, IKEA, it's easy, man. 2 sets of hands, we built all the cabinets in like 4 hours. It's fine.
Gotcha. Okay, well, Tyler, I don't want to take too much more time from completing this task, so it was an absolute pleasure. Again, let the audience know where they could follow you, see your work.
Absolutely. We're Drip Studio TV on Instagram, and dripstudio.tv is our website. I'm Tyler Bowditch on Instagram. You'll find me through both of those, so easy to reach. And yeah, we're at DuPont in Symington. Come by for coffee. The espresso machine came in this morning, so.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, again, Tyler, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for coming by.
And that's going to really just wrap this episode. So another field trip with Label 428 and Drip Studios.
Yeah, I'm going to get my coveralls on and get back to it probably.
All right, take care, guys.
See ya.